In my D&D Curse of Strahd game, Irina has been kidnapped by the vampire. We're desperately trying to rescue her. To do that, we're making our way over to Salinka Pass, on our way to the Amber Temple. We're trying to guide Casimir to the temple, who promised to give us Sergei's blade, a weapon that we can use to defeat Strahd. From talking to Mordenkainen, we discovered that Strahd had these magic wards that make him impervious to our attacks. He thinks if we go there, we'll root out what's giving him this power, and see if we can put a stop to it. The group is made up of adventurers who all received blessings from spirits. Garo, the cleric monk, who is endowed with powers from the Fanes. Krus, the paladin, who is gifted powers from an orc. Guda, who is gifted eyes from a beholder. And Boshak, whose patron is Dendar, and is slowly becoming closer to being a Yuan-Ti. One other thing I need to explain that I didn't really talk about up to this point before, but Guda is a wild magic sorcerer. Since she's getting more and more powerful with her patron, Mavarus, the Lord of Chaos, one of the trade-offs is that she triggers wild magic more often. Instead of being on a 5% chance every single time she casts a spell, it's now 20% chance. It's slowly been happening more and more often as time went on. Also, Guda pipes up,
"We've been in Barovia for a week now."
"We have?"
"Yep,"
she said, going through her notes.
"Let's say we arrived on a Sunday. Sunday night was at the Vistani camp. Monday was Vallaki. Tuesday was Vargenvostold. You weren't there for that session, Garo. Wednesday was Vallaki again. Thursday was on the road by the Hag's Windmill. Friday was Kazan's Tower. Saturday was at the Vistani camp. And today's Sunday."
Man, it doesn't feel like a week. It feels like it's been way longer. On the way up to the top, we encounter a man kneeling in humble meditation. He's outfitted with a heavy set of plate armor and a sword. I greet him. "Hey, hello. I'm Garo, cleric of the Morning Lord. His blessings be upon you." The group recognizes the kneeling knight, but I don't. Guda was shocked.
"Godfrey, is that you?"
The knight turned to her.
"Guda, it is good to see that you are doing well."
I'm confused. Who is this guy? I was absent for that session. I noticed that the knight is pale, covered in cuts and injuries. Even from here, I can tell that he's an undead.
"He's Sir Godfrey. He's a paladin from an order of Silver Knights. He was the only person there who was actually kind of nice to us. Everyone else was really mean."
I remember that they told me about Argynvost. It was run by the Order of the Silver Dragon, a group of knights that were all revenants. A revenant is a type of undead, kind of like a zombie, made from a soul that has been returned by divine decree to fulfill a purpose or take revenge. The Order of the Silver Dragon had been slaughtered by Strahd, and were resurrected with a purpose to slay him. But it failed, again and again. Finally, realizing that their mission was futile, they resided in Argynvost, bitterly waiting out their eternal prison. I asked, "What are you doing up here?" Sir Godfrey responded,
"I'm here to reclaim the skull of my dead master, a silver dragon that was slain by Strahd. I must ready myself for battle spiritually."
Should we go with you?"
"No, I must go alone."
"Well, what if you get murdered?" I asked.
"Then I'll try again tomorrow,"
he said.
"After all, I am a revenant. Each day I'm renewed with new purpose, and my body is brought back. And every day I climb up the slopes of this mountain, and every day I fail. I have been on my quest for decades."
We noticed that his body bears the cuts and scars of many, many deaths on it. Normally, revenants only last a year, burning out eventually, but because none of the souls are allowed to leave Barovia, something about this magic here keeps him going. "You sure? You might be able to be reborn, but we don't have that luxury. We should go with you, because what I'm thinking is that if there's a threat that you can't handle, what chance do we have?"
I suppose it would be helpful. I'm never one to turn down a comrade in arms. Thank you.
He draws his blade.
I swear, I will not back down. I will not falter. I will not rest until our enemies have fallen before us.
He sheathes it, kneeling down before the statue.
But first, if I may, give me some time. I must beseech the gods for guidance, for protection.
We wait while he's in silent prayer, before rising.
Let us go.
The group arrives at a massive bridge. There are several stone statues, 2 on each side at the top of the pillars. Boshak pulls out his scepter.
Animated statues? You think you can fool me? I think not.
He fires a spell up, hitting one of the statues and blowing it to pieces. The other figures don't come to life. It seems like the statues were not magical. Boshak sheathed his weapon and shedded a single tear.
I just destroyed a piece of history.
As we walk onto the bridge, we hear,
Not one step.
a voice echoes out over the chasm. Soaring overhead is a massive skeletal dragon.
Not one step.
Oh, this is bad. We look to the dragon. That's Argynvoss?
Yes.
His body is now a tool in the hands of Strahd. The skeletal dragon spoke again.
If you take one more step, I will strike you all down.
Do you think we could just negotiate with this guy?
We whisper.
Is this just a role-playing encounter?
Boshak's like,
I didn't just look up 1 hour-long Skyrim dragon fight music on my phone because I wanted to talk to a dragon.
the DM informed us, well, you guys can try and speak with him. Garo explained, we could do that. After all, he is Godfrey's old master, so we might be able to talk him down. And he seems really sad. But then again, you did get the skeletal dragon mini for him, and I did kind of want to get my rocks off in a dragon fight. I'm going to be so pissed off if we manage to talk him down. Like, I imagined we'd try and have to provoke him again, going like, I guess this dragon's a little bitch, and kind of smack him around a little bit. Boshak asked him,
You're Argynvoss, right? Strahd killed you. What happened? Strahd turned me into his servant. I am magically bound to this location and compelled to defend it whether I want to or not. After I fought him, my heart was ripped out and bound to the castle.
Garo realized, oh, we heard about that. Yeah, that was the massive heart that was in the castle. That was yours? The dragon nodded.
Yes, the heart is giving him power. You must destroy it if you want to defeat him. Strahd took it from me and turned it into a phylactery.
Oh, okay. Wait. I'm sorry. Did you say phylactery? A phylactery is a special container that holds a soul in it. One way to achieve immortality, escaping death, is to become a lich, creating a phylactery so when your body is destroyed, your soul remains. Wait a second. Strahd has a phylactery? He's a lich?
No, not his. It's my phylactery.
Oh, it's yours, is it? As he says that, blue fire bursts out from his eyes and through his skeletal form. Oh. I am filled with all kinds of regret now. As we realize, he's not a skeletal dragon. He's a Draco Lich. And I'm thinking about my life choices that led up to this point. The dragon roared.
Oh, so come forward and fight me. Godfrey, reclaim my skull for our paladins.
Godfrey nodded, drawing his blade.
I will, my master.
We asked the dragon, by the way, before we fight, do you happen to have any, I don't know, like weaknesses or something?
In this form, I am resistant to necrotic. My bones no longer feel the cold, and poison is useless on that which can no longer eat.
And do you happen to have any, like, condition immunities?
I can't be charmed, or exhausted, or frightened.
Argynvoss sounds like he's reading off his mental stat block. Once we're ready, the groups threw a spell at him and rushed out onto the bridge to take him down. A fight ensued. And the battle was actually really not that hard. Casimir used his held action to make a wall of force, which blocked the dragon's breath weapon, so we didn't have to worry about it. We also got a group of 7 people, 3 of which are really powerful. Van Richten's strong, Casimir is strong, Godfrey's strong, plus when Godfrey hits, he crits, does bonus damage, plus smite, plus undead, plus all of his bonuses. This Draco Lich was actually forcibly turned, so we didn't have any spell casting, and just straight out of the book, a Draco Lich doesn't have a lot of mobility, so when he moves somewhere, he's stuck for a round. And he's got about 200-ish hit points, and we're doing over 100 a round, so he went down, and he went down hard. There were several fights that we had that we thought we might win. This was not one of the ones I thought we'd win easily. And 3 rounds later, that dragon was defeated. His skeletal form broke into pieces, and the blue fires in him dying out quickly. I tell him, "May the Morning Lord guide you to your rest. Don't worry, we'll avenge you. Well, we'll avenge the first death, not the second death, because that would actually be on us, and that would be awkward." The dragon says,
You must destroy the heart. It is the only way to stop Strahd.
Wait. How do we do that exactly? Like, what is it? Do you have any words left with your dying breath to explain how that works? Blah! Argynvost dies. Damn you, inconveniently timed death. Godfrey said,
Thank you, friends. I could not have done it without your help.
He takes the dragon's skull.
It has been a long, cold road, but now my master's spirit can rest, and I can return this back to Argynvostholt to give my fellow knights the hope that they desperately need. It has been dark there for far too long. Farewell. May our paths cross in this life or another.
He turned and left back down the road we had come, carrying the prize he had desperately fought for. We turned to the Amber Temple, an ancient place built long before Strahd had taken over Barovia. As we enter, the DM had us roll perception. We needed an 8 to pass, but we all failed. The DM's like, "Oh, nothing, never mind, you keep going, whatever." When we enter, we notice that there are many alcoves and burial sites. It's kind of like an above-ground catacomb. For some reason, what we decided was, wow, this place is really big. Hey, you know what would be a good idea? Let's split up, gang. We can cover more ground that way. And for some reason, we were like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Garo, you're just a good idea machine today. I'm like, yeah, I know. Gouda and I went to one side of the Amber Temple, where we got attacked by flaming skulls throwing fireballs at us, and a giant stone golem, while Krusk and Boshak were attacked by an Arcanoloth. While Boshak and the Arcanoloth were throwing out spells back and forth, Krusk is like, you know what? I'm out of spell slots. I'm kind of useless in the fight. I'm just going to explore this place by myself. So while he's in the middle of a fight, he just leaves Boshak by himself. As he's passing by one of the tombs, he's suddenly drawn to it. It's like he has a connection of some kind. The DM informs him, Krusk, you feel a kinship to this room. You know that Bogtrue is behind this door. Krusk raises his hand and says, Bogtrue, and the door opens and goes inside. The door closes behind him. Garo wasn't happy about this. Oh no, that's fine. While we're fighting, you have a little powwow heart attack with your spirit, daddy. Boshak was like,
Boshak's not warm-blooded, but even for him, that was pretty cold.
Inside, Krusk notices a body trapped in amber. The image of an orc appears before him.
Krusk,
the spirit of Bogtrue speaks to him.
You have become powerful, but you are still incomplete. I can make you whole, but first you must cast aside your other path and rise to your full potential.
We ask, is he asking Krusk to abandon his oath? The DM clarifies, he's very much asking Krusk to abandon his oath. Krusk thought about it.
I can't.
The DM is surprised. Really? I thought Krusk would totally be down for this.
Nah, I mean, don't get me wrong, he likes the powers, but he's not going to abandon his oath for this guy.
Bogtrue snorks.
Very well. You have chosen weakness and frailty over power. I have no need of those in my midst.
Eventually the separate groups manages to fight off the enemies. Outside the holy site where Bogtrue is entombed, the door opens. Out comes Krusk, without his orcish powers anymore. He looks just like his normal half-orc self. He lost everything? All of his new powers. The DM nodded. Yep, that's right. He's just normal vanilla paladin now. Also, the group asked, just for the lulz, if he had said yes, like, that wouldn't make him an Oathbreaker paladin, would it? And the DM nodded. Oh, he totally would be an Oathbreaker after that. What the group finally comes to realize is that there are many spirits and monsters imprisoned here at the Amber Temple. The party eventually comes across a room where someone is hiding. Gouda was shocked to see Victor! Victor's eyes were wide. He seemed relieved to see us. You guys? What are you doing here? We could ask you the same question. Okay, so just a refresher. In the previous sessions, Viktor Volokhovich was a teenager who had been imprisoned upstairs in his room by his dad, the burgomaster. He practiced magic and tried to teleport out of Barovia. The last we met of him, he blew off the top of his house during a failed teleportation spell. He points out the window of the Amber Temple to the broken third floor of a house. It turns out there is no escaping Barovia. Not now, anyway. But the attempt didn't come without a cost. And he shows the stump where his arm used to be. He's lost his arm, up to his shoulder. Also, the DM explained, when we entered the Amber Temple, he had us all roll perception to see if we noticed the fact that there was an entire upper floor of the house that was kind of close to it, hanging off of the ledge, that had smashed into it. That was the easy perception check we had all failed. Gouda looked at him angrily. Viktor, you... She came over to him, pinching his cheeks. Ow, 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 ow.
Don't do something like that again. You could have gotten into trouble.
Viktor squirmed away.
I had to. They were going to kill me. We told you not to practice magic. And what did you do? Practice magic.
Viktor was indignant.
I had to. You had taken my spell book away.
Gouda was chewing him out some more.
You are so irresponsible, Viktor.
I said, on that note, I pulled out his spell book. You're gonna need this. Viktor pockets it. Thanks. I tried to get some information from him. What happened since you've been here?
Well, I showed up here, and something talked to me in a voice in my head. It asked me to serve it for power. It even gave me an arm, a demonic arm filled with strange magic.
Kind of like Ezek. Think I know where he got it then.
Yeah, but well, it gave me power. I'm not going to be led around and serve anyone. No more. When I said no, it became angry and ripped the arm off of me.
He gestures to the stump, what's left of what used to be his arm. So what it sounds like was that Ezek's demonic arm came from one of these dark powers here. If his patron's still roaming around here, I guess we got something else we got to worry about now. Also, since we had been bringing it up, Viktor, about your parents. You teleported out before this happened, but the rebellion went through, and there was an angry crowd, and your parents got captured by the mob, and they were hung. Your family's dead, Viktor. His eyes went wide, his face pale. He was in shock.
What? No, this can't be. My parents, they were misguided and ignorant, but they didn't deserve this.
Fiona has taken over as the new Baron of Vallaki. Viktor took a moment to compose himself.
I'm going to kill Fiona.
Really, Viktor, I think that's rash. Like, it was the mob that killed them. No.
It was her,
he said.
It was her coup. She's the one who stirred up the crowd. She's going to pay for what she did to my parents.
Garo left out the part that we were the ones who put Fiona in power, killing Ezek, and that if anyone's responsible for killing his parents, it's us. But I don't mention that. He'll find out eventually, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's no easy way to bring it up. We continued to explore. In one event, Gouda casts several spells and rolls on the wild magic table to summon a Modron. The Modron said,
What place? This is very strange indeed.
A Modron is a mechanical creature from the plane of law. This one was a monodrone. It had one central eye, its body is a large sphere, with two twiggy arms and legs dangling off of it, and a set of small wings. This monodrone is the lowest and weakest one in the hierarchy, but there's other ones out there like duodrone, quadrone, etc.
A new friend?
Gouda pulls out her notepad. The Modron seems confused.
This is wrong. This is all wrong.
The monodrone sees the rubble and begins organizing things. He starts sweeping, taking split rocks and putting them back together, trying to repair the Amber Temple, a futilely long task.
Repairing in progress. Fixing up. Everything must be fixed. What's your name?
The DM smirked.
L33T.
It took a second for the other players to get it, but they laughed. Me, as a player, is like, I don't get it. They explain. L33T, his name's basically Leet. I shake my head. Does that mean something? They try to explain. Haven't you ever played multiplayer games before? Online? It's a term you see sometimes when someone goes, I'm elite for elite. I'm like, I've never heard of that term before, but it sounds funny. The DM also informs us there's a bit of a rules debate because according to the general rules, the Modron shows up and leaves Barovia after a minute. But according to the setting specific rules, no one is able to leave Barovia by any magical means. So the question is, does he leave Barovia? I'm going to make a DM ruling and say, no. No, he does not. So, anyone you guys summon here is trapped here as well. Because of that, as the clock rolls past 1 minute, the Monodrone is still there, still cleaning up the Amber Temple. As we talk to him, we also realize that L33T can follow simple commands. As Gouda and the Modron were talking, she said,
I don't want him to accidentally get controlled by the enemies. So I tell Leet, don't listen to anyone except for me.
And it just heard,
Okay, don't listen to anyone. Except for me. Okay, don't listen to anyone.
The Monodrone said, continuing to clean up.
No. What I said was, don't listen to anyone other than me. Don't listen to anyone.
She tried writing down her orders, but he just ignored them.
Leet, would you please read this? Don't listen to anyone. Ah! It's reading, not listening. It doesn't count.
But he was just ignoring her. We ended up just leaving him behind as we continued searching the rest of the Amber Temple. We opened one door after circumnavigating a few traps. Inside of the next room is a skeleton. He's sitting in a chair, staring absent-mindedly into the distance. I ask, is this guy a lich? The DM nods. You recognize immediately. He's a lich. So, there's a room, and there's a chair, and there's a lich in there. On the chair. Just sitting there. Okay, this is fine. As we enter, the lich looks and sees Garo. He asks him,
Do I know you?
I start thinking of whether or not I should lie. I decide to answer it truthfully. I'm not going to lie to him. No, you don't. The lich then asks,
Do you know me?
As we're talking, we get jumped by a huge monster. The thing is a mouth with several tentacles coming out of it.
You dare refuse my gifts?
The monster said, looking to Victor.
You dare challenge me?
The thing grabs Victor, who shouts, It's Thangob! It's the patron I refused! I look to the lich and I say, I don't have time for this conversation. We'll talk in a bit. And I leap out of the room, chasing down Thangob. We fought Thangob, killing him and rescuing Victor. Afterwards, we speak to the lich. From talking to him, we find out that his memory is just completely destroyed. He has no idea who he is or what he's doing there. But he's not bothering anyone, so we just leave him there. Then Rickton asks,
I have greater restoration. I can restore his memories if we want.
I wince. If we want, key phrasing there. I don't know about that. It might be a bad idea. Let's say, if he wants to fight, I don't think we can beat a lich in a straight-up fight. Okay, here's an idea. Why don't we wait until we're done exploring the Amber Temple? Then, once we're safe and we finished up everything and we can flee if we need to, we might. But let's be real, probably not. We then found the door which led to Boshak's patron. He entered. Boshak spoke with his snake mom. Dendar asked,
Boshak, how have your powers been?
They're great. Thanks, evil snake mom.
Dendar explained,
My child, I have more powers, but it comes at a price.
Yes.
Boshak interrupted her.
Just let me know who to kill, and they're as good as dead.
Just say yes, Garo said. We need more powers.
Excellent,
Dendar said. The DM slipped Boshak's player a note, explaining what he needed him to do. It only took a moment for him to pick it up, look at the note, and slip it back to him.
I refuse.
Dendar sounded disappointed.
Very well. I offered you power, and yet you have chosen another path.
Boshak exited from the tomb. He looked like a completely normal lizard folk. What happened to you? Boshak explained to us,
Dendar made a request for me, but the price was too steep, so I refused.
Why would you do that to us, Boshak? We needed more magic. Boshak explained,
My powers are now weaker. I have all of the normal warlock abilities now. I'm in timeout with Magic Snake Mom.
After that, we continued exploring. We eventually found Maveriss's tomb. Gouda was about to go inside when I stopped her. Are you really sure you want to go in there?
Why? That's where Magic Dad is sleeping.
Well, we spoke with 2 magic parents and then lost 2 patrons. Right now we're kind of in a 0-for-2 win-loss rate. Don't you think it's better if maybe we just don't talk with him and just keep the powers?
Don't worry, it's fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Gouda put her hand on the tomb. The door opened, and she entered. Garo shook his head. I am 99% certain that she is definitely going to lose all of her powers when she leaves. Gouda spoke with Maveriss. Gouda's patron was a skeletal beholder, also called a death tyrant.
Little Gouda, you have done well to spread the anarchy. The fires of chaos will envelop everything.
Oh, thanks, Magic Dad. I really appreciate you helping me out, and it's great that I get to help you out. We're such a team.
I have a question, though.
The death tyrant floats closer to her.
Do you want to be the hero?
Gouda smiled.
Well, of course I do.
Excellent.
Maveriss sneered.
Excellent. Don't worry, little Gouda. You will be the hero. You will always be the hero.
Great. That's nice. One less thing to worry about.
But first, though, there is something for you. I have a gift, I suppose you could call it.
A crystal floats in front of her like a mirror. She sees her reflection, and it changes into a female dwarf.
This could be you if you decide your form is weak and frail.
No. I don't want to be someone else.
Gouda was indignant.
I like being me.
Oh, really? You prefer being yourself? The choice is yours.
Yeah, I don't want to be a dwarf.
Maveriss said,
Very well, then. After all, you are the hero, and he is not.
In the image, the dwarf yells out in rage. She takes her fist and punches forward. The crystal shatters, and the image disappears. The rest of the party was shocked. Wait, what happened? Did Gouda just kill a guy? Gouda asked him,
Did I just do something bad?
You don't need to concern yourself with that. Don't worry. After all, you're the hero now, and he was not. So I got rid of him. You will always be the hero, no matter what.
Us outside, we don't know this is going on, but we're asking what happened? Did Maveriss just kidnap a dwarf and kill him or something? Gouda was still oblivious.
I don't know what that means, but thanks, Magic Dad. I hope I'll do you proud. It seems like Magic Dad's been there a lot more than actual Dad has been recently.
You are doing me proud. Yes, indeed.
He says,
You will be blessed with even more gifts. Your power will destroy your enemies.
Thanks, Magic Dad. I don't know what we're laughing about.
She leaves the tomb. Garo is absolutely shocked that she still has her powers. You have your powers still? I ask. Gouda nods.
Yep.
What price did you have to pay?
Nothing. He just gave them to me for free.
My eyes squint. Nothing comes for free. Everything comes with a price.
Nope, it's fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Gouda shrugs, and we leave it at that. We eventually find Casimir's patron's tomb. He prays in front of it, touching the amber sarcophagus. He feels a surge of new power rush over to him, and he collapses. Casimir completed the task he came here to accomplish. As payment for helping him, and from our agreement, Casimir reaches into his cloak and gives us Sergei's blade. Krusk takes the weapon and tries it out. It's just a hilt, which, when activated, produces a blade of radiant light that gives off sunlight. It's kind of like a lightsaber, but its beam is of pure light. This is a sunblade. It is the perfect weapon for killing vampires. After he had spoken with his patron, Casimir immediately became very weak. We had to carry him out. Searching around a little bit more, I eventually find the tomb of Harkotha, my patron. I start making jokes that what's going to be inside is just a hot tub with 3 women in it.
Ooh, Garo, why don't you come in? The water's nice. Tee-hee-hee.
As I approach, I hear a voice of one of the Fanes in my head saying,
Our tomb is dangerous, Garo. There's a monster inside.
I look to the group and say, sounds like I'm going to have to fight something at the tomb. I draw the quarterstaff. Boshak asked,
Do you need help killing something?
Nope, I will go alone. I said, Thank you, Boshak, but I'm Harkotha's champion. I need to go alone to prove that I am worthy of the power that they have bestowed upon me. I go inside. A split second later, I come running out. Ah, guys, I need help! This was a terrible idea! I can't do it alone! Some kind of plant abomination is chasing after me. I hide behind everyone else as they take care of it for me. Okay, thanks you guys. I'm gonna go talk to them now. I entered the tomb. Hello there, Fanes. It's me, Garo. I took care of that monster that was terrorizing you guys. Yes, and since I've taken care of it, it won't be bothering you ever again.
You have done well to make it this far, growing in your power. You truly are our champion. But there is still one last challenge to defeat. The Dark Lord. In order to do this, you must remove his wards that protect him. These wards were claimed by him. A long time ago, 3 magic circles with 3 stones were made and given to the humans as a sign of goodwill. Each one possesses a different power and binds the Dark One to this land. If you wish to destroy these wards, you must find a magic stone, take it to one of these circles, and perform a ritual which breaks the stone and that will forever destroy that ward's power.
The Fane of the Mountain says,
My circle makes him tougher and harder to hurt. My power grants him a bonus to his AC.
In my head, I see a circle on Yester Hill, the same ones the druids were chanting at. The magic stone circle is about 30 feet in diameter and kind of resembles like Stonehenge, but with shorter rocks. The Fane of the Swamps explains,
My circle grants the Dark Lord several elemental resistances. It blesses one with resistance to fire, cold, lightning, thunder, and acid.
I see a stream in my head with a stone circle next to it. I don't know where it is, but I do know that it's in the swamps next to a river. The last one gives me the image of the circle of stones near the windmill of the hags that we destroyed. The Fane of the Forest explains,
My circle grants him the ability to eavesdrop and know the location of anyone who says his name.
Wait. What?
The Dark Lord has the power to scry and listen in whenever someone says his name.
Oh. We didn't done fucked up. We done been fucking up. A continuous stream of fuck-ups. And now we found out how he had been managing to track us down, time after time after time. Early on in the adventure, we had heard his name, seen it written several times. Not only that, but I realized that this wasn't a secret. The Baron Velakovich knew it was a problem. That's why he had banned anyone in the city from using his name. That's why you-know-who had to show up as Vasily and ask around to figure out where we were. If we didn't use his name, he didn't know. At that, I realized that the other players didn't know. I went, I need to go for a second. You guys take care of yourselves. Okay, bye-bye. The other players see Garo running out of the building, screaming his head off. Ah! You guys! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! I explained the situation to them. We can't use the devil's name anymore. Also, we need to take care of these magic circles. If we hunt down the stones, take them to these magic circles, we can break the magic wards that he has. Also, I got souped up now. I have so many more druidic magic spells. I got Guardian of Nature plant form, I can Tree Stride now, Stone Skin. This is great. And guess what? I get them all for free. Boshak raised his eyebrows.
For free.
Well, I mean, probably. All I gotta do is defeat the devil and restore Barovia, which we're gonna do anyway. Boshak brought up,
I thought you said everything comes with a price.
except for this, apparently. I said, apparently it only comes with a price if it's bad, but if it's good or neutral, you just get it. We continued exploring the Amber Temple. We came across the resting place of Vol, Strahd's patron, the vampire. I also talked to Boshak about something that had kind of been bothering me. Hey, Boshak, you went into your tomb and you lost your powers because you rejected Dendar's quest, correct? Boshak nodded.
Indeed.
Do you mind if I ask, what was the request? You took one look at it and immediately rejected it.
Dendar asked me to reinstate the Hag Coven, he said. The one we destroyed. She wanted there to be a new Hag Coven, but doing the same things, making pastries out of children.
I winced. Yeah, no, that's an immediate no for me. But why would Boshak say no? Back at the tomb, Boshak had said no, and Dendar was like,
You need to play nice with your sisters. You're mean to them.
No, they were bullying me.
Dendar was indignant,
Well, if you're going to be like that, you're in time out.
and she took away his powers. Boshak explained to me,
The Hags tried to kill Krusk, tried to kill our group. They're a threat to us. They forced us to sell pastries, threatening to kill us if we don't. Boshak doesn't forget his enemies, and his grudges run deep.
Since we had completed most of the tasks at the Amber Temple, we eventually decided to cast Greater Restoration on the Lich. Okay, this is probably a terrible idea, but let's do this. Van Richten approaches the Lich, casts Greater Restoration to repair the Lich's mind, and we take a step back.
Oh,
The Lich says,
I've been away for a while, haven't I?
Do you remember your name?
Gouda asked with her notepad out.
Of course, it's Exathanter.
Gouda quickly started jotting down the name.
How do you spell it?
Exetanter.
I ask him, who are you? What is this place?
Well, as some of you know, spirits are often difficult, if nigh impossible, to kill. How could you destroy the Fanes? They're too powerful, and they are the land. So, they were imprisoned here, in the Amber Temple. That was our way of controlling them.
He gestured to the library.
This is where we kept our studies and notes on their power.
Well, did you guys work with Strahd?
Gouda asked. Everyone in the group facepalmed. Gouda clasped her hands up to her mouth.
Oh no!
We gotta go. He knows we're here. Exathanter explained.
Oh yes, Strahd was my student. I taught him magic. Please take your time here. Explore. It has been a long time since I've had students here.
Thanks, appreciate the offer, but maybe another time. We book it to the exit of the Amber Temple. Boshak uses his familiar to spy on the front entrance. Who do we see at the front? But Rahadin, trudging through the snow into the front door. He seems to be alone, I say. Boshak growls.
He's never alone. It seems suspicious.
Van Richten said,
Before we go, I have something to take care of.
What are you going to do?
I need to find one of the tombs.
All right, keep it short. We split off with Van Richten. Our group goes to the front of the Amber Temple, where we see Rahadin kneeling before a statue praying. He seems to notice that you guys are there, but doesn't do anything. Garo waits for him to finish praying. I'm a holy man. I respect his faith. Rahadin stands up, pulls out a toad from his pocket and eats it whole and alive. Its little legs squirming and trying to get out as he closes his mouth, swallowing it. I'm just watching, confused. Rahadin turns to us.
My master wishes to send his regards to you. He wants to invite you to his wedding. He is going to have to marry Tatiana in 3 days.
Oh, well, now we have a date. 3 days, right?
Indeed.
Also, by the way, Rahadin, I said, we got a friend over here, Casimir. He's interested in reviving Patrina. I bring it up to him because Rahadin is a dusk elf. He killed the others as retribution for Patrina's death. He might actually help us out. If not, I'm still curious to see his reaction.
Oh, really?
Rahadin said,
I don't know why he would do that. That sounds like he's fixing a problem that wasn't really broken. After all, some people deserve to stay dead.
Welp, that's one less potential ally. Rahadin also mentioned,
Another thing. There are 2 of my master's items that you have in your possession. My master requests that you turn them over to him.
I raise an eyebrow. What would those be?
The amulet of Ravenkind and Sergei's blade.
I say, if we give them over to you, you'll just let us go?
Yes. After all, you stole those items. You have no right to them.
I say, thinking, you know what? Maybe he's got a point. I slowly reach for my quarterstaff behind my back, but Boshak beat me to the punch.
If you're looking to take something, why don't you take this?
2 eldritch blasts arc over my shoulder and hit Rahadin square in the chest. Rahadin drew his own sword.
Very well. I gave you an easy way out, but you chose the hard way.
Garo suddenly feels a sting of pain in his side and sees a squirt of blood issuing out. We realize that surrounding us is a horde of vampire thralls. But these ones are stronger, and many have invisibility and greater invisibility on them. They were all invisibly standing next to us, waiting for Rahadin to give them the go-ahead to attack us. Boshak was like,
I warned you. He never comes alone. He always has friends.
Shut up, Boshak! Wait, this is perfect. A group of vampires, you say? I pull out the amulet of Ravenkind. Sunlight! As I hold up the amulet, which is issuing out this blinding glow, the vampires screech in agony under the pain of the sunlight. We hear the sizzling of their skin as it starts burning under the radiant energy. But they're also very tanky, and it hurts them, don't get me wrong, but it's not an instant death. Rahadin uses a psychic attack on me and downs Garo. As I fall unconscious, he takes the amulet and pockets it, turning off the sunlight. He then misty steps over to Krusk, who has the sun sword, downs him as well, and pockets the blade. Krusk was really not happy about this. So, we're only 2 rounds into the fight, 2 players are down, and we've just got Gouda and Boshak, who are squishies, getting surrounded. In the fight, Gouda casts wild magic, producing a group of flumps.
Aw, thanks, you little guys. Thanks for being here for me. I love little flumps. We're gonna be best friends.
The flumps are panicking, very confused about why they're there.
What happened to us? Where are we?
Flumps are these good little jellies that help people out in the Underdark. One of the vampire mages casts a fireball, and they get caught up in the blast, instantly getting vaporized. We make jokes about how Gouda is going to have these nightmares from now on with these flumps and them going,
Why would you do this, Gouda? Why would you kid us? You're a terrible person, Gouda.
Boshak feels a clawed hand pressed up against his neck. A female voice whispers in his ear.
Where is he?
Boshak immediately realizes who it is. He points over to the tomb where Van Richten is. The invisible female says,
Thank you.
moving towards the tomb. It took Garo a second to put together who it was. Esmeralda, hunting Van Richten. Esmeralda was our old vampire hunter friend who had been turned by Strahd, and now works for him. Oh no, we gotta save Van Richten, I say, unconscious, on the ground, and unable to do anything. I mean, someone else needs to do that, but not me. The door to the tomb where Van Richten is opens up, and the invisible Esmeralda enters, and the door closes again. Whatever happens in there, we have no way to stop it. Gouda is getting cornered. She casts a spell, triggering wild magic, and then summons,
Gouda, you need help? I have answered.
The vampires all look to the bright light as summoning forth is a horse that is radiating magical energy, with a single horn on its head. Gouda was shocked.
It's a unicorn?
Yes, little Gouda,
The unicorn says. However, because of the magic of Barovia, the unicorn has a dark sheen with red eyes. He has become warped by the dark powers.
My name is Shadowfane. The trip to Barovia was not a pleasant one, but I am here to aid you, little Gouda.
Thanks, Shadowfane.
Tears in her eyes, Gouda quickly jots down his name. The unicorn uses its heel and brings Garo and Krusk back to life. We continue fighting with Rahadin, but he has what his master sent him for, the Amulet of Ravenkind and the Sunblade. So, he just leaves, misty-stepping away. Emerging out from the side tomb is Esmeralda. Her eyes were wide with shock. Her hands and mouth are covered in blood. She looks to the other vampires, immediately becomes full of rage, and casts Dawn, killing several vampires, and then a healing spell on Krusk. Wait, Esmeralda is helping us? I say, shocked at the sudden turn of events. Esmeralda crawls on the wall, skittering across the sides to get to Rahadin, and starts fighting him. Together, with Esmeralda on our side, our new unicorn companion, we start killing the vampires one by one. Eventually, with Rahadin low on health, Krusk steps up to him, stabs him through his heart. The man coughs up blood and slumps down. Krusk tilts his sword forward, and Rahadin falls off of his blade, his body hitting the ground. I tried to ask her, Esmeralda, what?
No time.
Esmeralda interrupted me.
Quick, we need to talk to Casimir. Take him to Van Richten.
Casimir uses his healing magic to cast Revivify on Van Richten, bringing him back to life. In case you are wondering, Revivify only works if someone has been dead for a minute or less. If she hadn't gotten to him soon, he would have been a goner. Afterwards, we speak to them. Van Richten, what happened? Van Richten explains,
Esmeralda is a fully fledged vampire now.
I was still confused. Wait. That's not what you told us earlier. When someone gets turned, they become a vampire spawn under the control of a vampire, right?
Indeed.
I thought the only way to go from being a spawn to a vampire is if the one who turned you releases you from his control and turns you free by doing a ritual of some kind by feeding you his own blood. Van Richten explained,
That's what I thought as well. It turns out I was mistaken.
He looked at the tomb of Vol, the vampire lord.
I cut a deal with Vol, the patron of the devil. He said, In order to make a vampire, you must have died a violent death, receive the blessings of Vol, and kill someone you love to seal the pact. So, Esmeralda is no longer a vampire spawn. She's a fully fledged vampire.
Esmeralda, our vampire hunter, is shaking her head, tears in her eye. Stupid. The group leaves the Amber Temple. Where to now? Well, we have 3 stones to track down and destroy at 3 magic rings, I explain. We already know where one of them is, at the Mardukov family winery. But they have a stone which blesses their fields, and they use it to grow their crops. We should be able to talk to them and get it. The other 2 we can track down. I think I remember hearing that the Witch of the Woods stole one a while back. Also, by the way, I'm slowly starting to realize that we probably can't track down all of the magic stones in those 3 days. We need to figure out an order, like which circle is the highest priority and which circle is the lowest priority, because we probably can't take care of all of them. Plus, we only have 2 long rests before the end of the game. We start leaving down the mountain. Boshak's like,
Wait, hold on a second.
He goes back and comes out with a severed leg and Rahadin's face. The lizard folk starts munching on them. Really, Boshak?
It's a snack for the road,
he says, munching on the leg like it's a turkey leg.
I'm hungry.
As we left the Amber Temple, with the young wizard Victor, the vampire hunter Esmeralda, and the unicorn Shadowfane added to the party, now with a newfound purpose and knowing that we were on a time crunch, that was where that session ended.